Hey, so it's Monday evening, and we're coming back to round two of Back to Basics Yoga. And today we're going to cover our how to do vinyasa correctly and more focused on the foundations and the modifications. So for me, I don't do the full form of chaturanga and vinyasa during my practice as I'm starting to recover. So I figured this would be a really good time to show you how I modify my vinyasa practice and how to flow through everything. So you're going to start with some gentle stretches, take a little break, work on those vinyasa basics, and then wind down and recover our bodies. So I'm in the middle of my mat here. I'm in a seated pose. I do have blocks and a strap available to me just in case I do need them when we're going into deeper stretches. And we're going to go ahead and just start. I'm going to bring my hands onto my knees. And let's close your eyes. Take a moment here. Take internal stock of your mind, your body. As your mind and body settles in tonight, begin to deepen into your breath. And allow your breath to calm down the thoughts of your mind, to release the tension out of your body. Okay. Let's bring the hands into prayer. We're going to bow your head. And then gently open your eyes. We're going to inhale, circle the arms up towards the sky until the palms touch. You're going to lift your gaze up. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down to the heart center. We're going to interlace the fingers and just press the palms forward as you start to round into your back. Dipping your chin down towards your chest. For 3, 2, 1. And then inhale, lift your chest forward. Start to extend the arms up towards your ears. Pressing your palms up towards the sky. And just close your eyes. Deepen that breath into your rib cage. And blink your eyes open, release the fingers, and just start to roll into the wrist space. And as you're starting to bring your hands down towards the mat, float the hands towards the back of your mat with the fingertips pointing back, allowing your shoulders to rotate behind your upper back, extending and lifting your chest forward. And we're going to take a breath in, start to roll your chin up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, start to roll your chin back towards your chest. So I'm going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, roll your gaze up. Exhale, release your chin down towards your heart. Last one. Inhale. And then exhale. Lift your head up, and we're going to send the arms up towards the sky and lower the right hand down towards the mat. Start to stretch the left hand over towards the left ear. And just peek your eyes up towards the ceiling. So again, rotate that left shoulder back to open your chest. Hold it here. For 3, for 2, for 1. And we're going to inhale, release, taking that left hand down towards the left side. And then reaching that right arm over your right ear, right palm facing down towards the mat. And then lift your gaze up. You can take that breath towards the right side of your body. And release. Let's go ahead. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, just extend from your hip space. You're going to lower the hands down towards the mat. And just slowly round into your back. You can adjust the placement of your hands wider or stretch them forward, whatever feels better for your own body. Let's go ahead and walk the hands up towards your knees. And you're going to roll your body up one vertebrae at a time. Keep the hands onto your knees. You're just going to lift the heart space forward, chin up, and then exhale, you're going to round into your back. Take it into your own breath. You want to inhale and roll your heart space forward. Exhale, round into your spine. And just 3 more times at your own pace. You can close your eyes. Engage into your breath. Soften the movement of your body. Begin to round into your spine. And let's continue to loosen up your upper body, just starting to circle over to the left, forward, over to the right. And allowing yourself to just take a moment of silence here. Move with your breath. Once you're ready, begin to reverse to the other side to balance your own body. And allow the knees and the hips to move in conjunction with your upper body. And slowly come back to the place of stillness. With your eyes closed, dipping your chin down to your chest. And just sway your head left and right. Explore into the back of your neck. Once that feels good, take the breath in. You're going to circle the head over to the left, allowing your chin to lift up towards the ceiling. And just exhale, roll down to the right. To get into your breath, roll the head over to the left. Exhale, roll down to the right. Let this feel good. Really deep in the breath and the movement to your left. And as you exhale, release down to the right. Let's reverse that motion. You're going to inhale, lift your head over to the right. Spinning your head back to exhale, down to your left. 2 more. Inhale over to the right. Exhale to your left. Last one. Inhale to your right. Exhale to your left. Lift your head back towards the center, neutral spine. Okay. Now that we're warmed up, let's go ahead and come onto our hands and knees. I'm going to pivot my body over to the side so you can see side view. And I'm placing my hands underneath my shoulder joints. My knees are underneath my hip joints, toes and tucked. And let's begin with cat and cow. Lifting my tailbone, I'm lifting my chin away from my heart space. And then on my exhale, I'm pushing my hands away from the floor to round into my back. Use your breath in. Lift your chest forward towards the top of your mat. As you exhale, roll that tailbone down towards your pelvic bone, tucking your chin down to your chest. Deepen into the breath. Let's go ahead and lift your chin away from your chest, tailbone up. Exhale, go ahead and release. Begin to flow to your own breath here. And if one movement or posture feels better for your own body in this moment, I encourage you to stay there for an extra breath or two. Bring it back to your tabletop, neutral back. And at this time, I want you to rock the hips left and right. Start to loosen up into your joints. And once that feels good, take a few hip rolls down towards your heels. It's a really great way to navigate your body on all fours is just to begin your practice by just simply moving into your body. Come back onto the hands and knees. And while we're on all fours today, we're going to open up that wrist space. So you're going to flip one of your hands back, so fingertips pointing towards your knees, and just gently begin to rock forward and back. You can connect this into your breath. Use the breath in to roll forward and the exhale to shift back. Once one hand feels ready, you're going to pivot it forward, move on to the other side. So especially when we're starting to bear more weight into our hands, our wrists and shoulder space, I love to really spend a good 5 to 10 minutes just working into preparing, preparing my body, really exploring where I am at, and that'll help me identify if I need to be a little bit more gentle or if I'm looking to energize. Okay, so once you're ready, you're gonna walk your hands a little closer towards your body. We're gonna go a little deeper into that wrist stretch. So fingertips pointing towards your knees. And the closer it is, the less strain you're gonna have and more control you have. I like to tuck my toes on this one. And all I'm gonna do is just shift my hips closer down to my heels. I wanna feel a nice length coming into the back of my wrist. Now, you don't want to feel pain. You just want to feel a place where you're feeling the muscles and the deep tissues start to open up. Another 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and release. Go ahead and just sit down onto your heels. Roll out the wrist space. And now we're going to go into our bodies a little bit more. So as I'm starting to come back into vinyasa, it is a lot about just taking baby steps, exploring where my shoulder and my wrist space is before I really start to go into the full flow. So I want you to just start by dropping your hips down to your heels, toes tucked. You can feel that length coming into the low back. Go ahead and stretch the fingertips forward. We're just going to start here. Provide length to your body first. As the lower back settles in, spread the fingertips wide. Start to energize through your palms, your hands. Make sure those hands are at shoulder width. Let's go ahead and inhale, lift the hips off your heels. Start to shift your shoulders over the wrist. And this is all we're going to do. You're going to notice how my hip space is forward to my knees. My shoulders is forward to my wrist. I can feel weight bearing. And I'm starting to actively push my wrists away from the floor. So I'm lifting through my upper back, filling into the space between my shoulder blades. And then I exhale to release, to get back. Soften the wrist. Savor a breath. Let's do that one more time. You're going to inhale, lift the hips up. Start to shift your body weight forward. The more you shift your body weight forward, the more weight you're going to bear into the wrist space. Now, as you're here, we're going to stay here for a few moments. So you can push your palms away from the floor. Feel yourself lifting into that upper back. You're trying to fill the space between your shoulder blades as if you're pushing into somebody's hands. Hold it there for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale. Go ahead and send it back. Take a few breaths. Okay, let's do that one more time. Go ahead and spread the fingertips wide. Engage in and energize through your hands. And we're going to inhale, go ahead and float and shift forward. As you start to shift your body forward, make sure you continue to engage the upper back. Don't shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Continue to push your hands away from the floor. So visualize this for a moment. Just close your eyes. You notice that your hips are in front of your knees. You can slightly feel that core engagement. Now imagine that you have somebody's palm right between your shoulder blades. So you can start to push your upper body away from the floor, pushing your hands away from the floor actively as though you want to push that upper back into that person's palm. For 3, 2, 1. Let's untuck your toes, drop it into child's pose, and go ahead to lengthen that upper lower back. So this is a posture we're going to come back into time and time again during this practice. Giving you some space to really soften into the upper back, the wrists. Begin to walk your hands over to the left. Deepen into that lower right back. And then reach the hands back towards the top of your mat to walk over to the right. And release, walk the hands back towards the center. Let's go ahead and shift forward. We're going to take a moment here to work into that next phase of vinyasa. So we're working towards chaturanga in a modified version. So with this one, we're just going to go ahead and tuck your toes in. Make sure your knees are just slightly behind the hips. My hands are coming underneath my shoulders. And chaturanga, think of this as a tricep push-up. My biceps, my inner arms want to be hugging in towards the sides of my chest. And my elbows, when I bend them, are going to bend to the sides of my chest towards my waist as well. So keeping your body really tight and really closely knit. So we're going to go down in 3 counts and gently lower yourself down. Ready? Take a deep breath in. Exhale. 3. Keep the elbows close. 2, 1. Your elbows are at a 90-degree angle. Just untuck your toes. Drop the hips. Take a breath. Notice if your elbows are hugging towards the sides of your body. Make sure the thumbs are close to your chest. And then tuck your toes in. We're piecing this together. So don't get too far ahead. Knees on the mat. And gently push your upper body up. And then exhale, fall back. We're going to do this kind of like a building block of how to transition our body into modified vinyasa. We're going to do that 2 more times. So we're going to go ahead. Remember what we did the first time. We're just shifting our body forward, letting the hips fall forward, be in front of the knees, shoulders in front of the wrist space. Now, as you exhale 1 time, I want you to bend the elbows ever so slightly. Keep hugging the inner arms close to your chest. Another exhale, take it down. Keep the biceps close to your chest. Last one. Bring it down. Notice that 90-degree angle in your arms, and then untuck your toes. Hips down, belly down. Ooh, take a breath. Calm down the heart. Inching your thumbs and elbows closer towards the sides of your body. And then tuck your toes in. Knees on the mat. Ready? One breath and push up. And then fall back. We're going to do that one more time, and then we're going to start to work into the next phase of your vinyasa, which is a cobra. So you're going to go ahead one last time. Go ahead and shift your hips forward to the knees. Shift the shoulders over the wrist. Make sure your hands are at shoulder width. Ready? 3 breaths down. Take a breath in. Exhale. Bend slightly, elbows close to your chest. Bend down again, keeping your inner arms close to your chest space. Last one, bend down. Your elbows are at 90-degree angle, and then untuck your toes. Hips down, belly down. Breathe. Hold it here. Catch your breath. Okay. Let's start to walk your thumbs close to your chest space. Notice how I'm hugging my elbows in. My elbows are at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to bring the tops of my feet down onto the mat, about hip width. And then slowly, I am ever so slightly pressing my fingertips away from the floor, engaging 80% of my strength to my low back, lifting my chest up. Hold it here. Our cobra pose for 3, for 2, for 1, and you're just going to exhale down. Bring the hands along sides of your body, turn over to the right. Just take a few breaths. Okay. Let's come back and work into our cobra pose again. We're going to bring both thumbs next to your chest, elbows tightly hugging in. And I usually gaze probably, say, 2 feet in front of me on the floor. And from here, I'm trying to hug my inner arms close to my chest. My elbows are close to my body as well. Now, before I come up to cobra, before I put any weight to my hands, I want to literally only put weight to my fingertips so I can just focus on engaging my lower back strength to lift my upper body up. Now, a good way to test if you're using most of your body weight on the hands or your lower back is to lift your entire palm off the floor, keeping your inner arm close to your chest, lifting the chest up, hold it there. Now place the hands down, barely placing any weight to it. So you can lift a little higher using that support of your hands, but engaging mostly to your upper and lower back, and then release. Stretch the arms back, head over to the left. We have one more set. Okay, last one. Ready? Tops of your feet down to the floor. Bring your hands next to your chest, hugging your inner arms in, rotating the shoulders behind towards the upper back so the front side of your chest is open. Take a deep breath in. Lift the chest a little higher. Feel yourself really engaging to the lower back. If you need to lift your hands just ever so slightly to test, you can, and then place it back down. So you can inhale, lift a little higher. Draw the belly in to support that lower back bend. For 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. And then you're going to tuck your toes in. On your in breath, you're going to push up into a knee plank and press. And then fall back. Let's see if we can do that entire flow in a few sets. So one fluid movement. I want you to tuck your toes in, extend the arms forward, and let's go ahead and connect the dots. Inhale, round your back, shift the shoulders over the wrists, hips in front of the knees. Ready? Exhale, Chaturanga modified. Bend your elbows, keep going down, close to the chest. Untuck your toes, drop the hips down to the mat. Keep hugging the inner arms. Ready? Inhale, lift your heart space up, engaging into the lower mid-back, keeping your elbows bent to the sides of your body. And then exhale, come down. Tuck your toes in, knees on the mat. One breath, let's push up, and then fall back. Take a few breaths here. A lot of strength building in the very fundamental basics of engaging the building blocks of our modified vinyasa. So make sure to always come back into this place of rest. Deepen the breath. We're going to do that set 2 more times. Start to energize through your hands. Let's together do this. Inhale, lift the hips, shoulders over the wrist. Keep shifting forward. Feel that body weight shift. On your exhale, bend your elbows. Slowly lower down halfway. Elbows close to your chest. Untuck your toes. Lower the hips down. Hugging your inner arms close to your body. And when you're ready, you're going to inhale, rise up into that cobra pose for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, soften down. Tuck your toes in, knees to the mat. One breath, push up. Good. Exhale, fall back. Take a break. Let's do that one last time. Spread the fingertips wide. Energize your hands. And let's go ahead. Inhale, lift the hips up. Begin to shift your upper body forward. Continue to push the hands away from the mat. And then exhale. Ready? Down at 1, 2, 3. Elbows close to the sides of your chest. Untuck your toes. Hips down. Lifting your gaze slightly up. Ready? Inhale. Lift up into cobra. Feel the compression to that lower mid-back. And then we're going to release down. Tuck your toes in. Knees on the mat. With a strong breath, we're going to push our energy up. And then you're going to fall back. Close your eyes. Reach the fingertips forward. Lengthen into that lower upper back. Good. Take a moment here. I'd like you to just walk the hands slightly in, coming back onto your hands and knees. We're going to work into our down dog, our last part of that vinyasa flow. And then we're going to start to connect everything together on how to merge yourself into a modified vinyasa without having to overuse and overdo for the long term of your practice, especially if you're coming back from an injury like I am. So let's go ahead and just let it feel good. Go ahead and come back to that down dog as you like. Take any pedals, any movements that feels good to open up those hamstrings, the shoulder space. Any movement is welcome. Now as you're starting to do that down dog, I want you to just slowly walk the hands closer to your feet step by step. Want to alleviate some of the body weight that we've been using on our wrists or hands, taking the hands all the way towards your feet, adjusting your feet at that hip distance, letting it feel good. And you'll go ahead, let go of your upper body. You can bring the hands to the opposite wrist or opposite elbows. Now close your eyes. Surrender to gravity. Let gravity do the work for you. Just breathe. Go ahead and slide your hands up onto your shin. We're going to inhale, lift your head up for that halfway lift. And just exhale, go ahead and round into your back, floating your upper body into your lower body. 2 more times, hands onto your shin. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Woo. Last one. Go ahead and inhale. And then as you exhale, I want you to float the palms behind your calves. Start to hug that upper body in towards your lower body. And just close your eyes. Deepen into that breath. So with a down dog, a lot of us typically feel that tension. We carry the tightness of the muscles behind the calves and the hamstrings. So I really enjoy taking a moment in our practice to really just focus on the hamstring space first. So when we come back to that down dog, you'll feel a lot softer and easier to ease into that posture. You're going to bring your hands back down towards the mat. Micro bend into your knees if you need to. And just take the hands forward at that shoulder hip width, keeping the knees bent if you need to. And I just want you to pedal one knee at a time. Just simple movement, but you're just encouraging some blood flow. Maybe taking the hips left and right as you're doing this, letting it feel good. There you go. And then just come back to the center. Another great way to kind of open up that lower body, especially if you're tight, is just squat a few times, pick it up. Maybe rotate the toes out, squat the knees wider than your your arms, and then do that a few times. So whatever feels good, keep pedaling, keep squatting and bending the knees. And then once that feels good, we're going to return back to center. Go ahead and just drape your head. Let the arms really drape down to the floor, no weight to your hands. Completely just let the upper body hang like a rag doll. Okay. Gonna inhale, slightly lift your head up. Bend your knees, let the hands touch the floor. And all I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start to pivot my feet to the outside of what would be your mat. And we're gonna take a wide-legged stance. I love, love, love getting warmed up for down dog by starting to do wide-legged first because I get nice openings to the back of my hamstrings. So we're gonna start just hanging your upper body down, let it feel good. No weight to your arms, just drape the arms down towards the mat. You can play with your body weight shifting forward, shifting back. Feeling how the back of your legs stretch out when you shift towards the balls of your feet or back towards your heels. Okay. Let's start to lift your head up. Go ahead and just bring your hands forward. I want to come into wide-legged down dog. So I want you to crawl your hands towards the top of your mat like so. My hands are in front of my wrist space, and all I'm going to do, notice how my hips just fall forward. I want you to push that upper body back. My hips are coming behind my heels. I'm feeling that stretch come from the back of my heels up through my calves into the back of my hamstrings. I'm extending my arms forward, and I'm going to lower my head down between my upper arms, and we're going to hold it here. Close your eyes. Remember, you still need to breathe. Okay, let's go ahead and walk the hands back underneath each shoulder. Taking a moment, heel toe the feet back at hip width. You can bend your knees to do that if that helps. And let's see how it feels now going back into down dog. So go ahead and crawl your hands forward, taking whatever necessary steps you need to really adjust into that down dog. And for a couple deep breaths, notice what has changed in your body. Okay, let's bring those knees down. Give the shoulders to rest a break. Fall back, child's pose. We're going to connect everything we did, starting from our hands and knees, shifting our body forward, going down into that chaturanga modified on the knees, taking it up into that cobra, lowering our body back down towards the mat to push up into that knee push up. And then we're going to gently transition to that down dog. Listen, see what that looks like in full flow. We're going to do that 3 times together. So you're going to bring your hands at shoulder width. And let's go ahead and tuck your toes in. I'm going to inhale. Ready? Inhale, shift the shoulders over the wrists like we practiced. My hips are in front of my knees. Let's do this first one nice and slow. 3 counts down. Ready? Take a breath in. Exhale. Bend 1 time. Keep it close. Bend 2 times. Elbows close to your chest. Bend 3rd time. Hold. Untuck your toes. Lower those hips. Roll the elbows close to your chest. We're going to inhale, rise up, compressing into our lower mid-back for cobra. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, down with the chest. Tuck your toes in. Your knees are on your mat, and 1 breath, push up, you're on your knees. So instead of doing a full push-up up, I like to transition up this way, shift my hips back ever so slightly, then rise up into cobra. Seems like a longer transition, but I find that it is a little easier on the joints. I'm going to repeat that 2 more times. So let's go ahead and lower the knees down to begin with. Ready? Take a breath in, shift the shoulders over the wrist. On your exhale, start to lower down, keeping your inner arms and elbows close to your chest. The elbows bent 90-degree angle, then untuck your toes, lower the hips. Hug and adjust the inner arms closer as you rise up to cobra for 3, 2, 1. Good. Lower your chest down. Tuck your toes in. With the strength of your breath, the strength of your body, let's push up. Stay on your knees. As you exhale, slowly rock the hips back and then roll your hips up. Down dog. Take a couple petals if it feels good. Stretch the heels down. Let's do this one last one. Bring your knees down. Take a break if you need to. Let it feel good. Literally, I cannot make it past 30 minutes of doing this. I usually do it always on the knees because a full vinyasa practice is not in it for me to sustain for endurance just yet. So I hope that if you have injuries yourself or chaturangas and vinyasas aren't your strength, to try these modified versions in any part of your practice. Let's do this one last time. Let's start rock back. Ready? Go ahead. Inhale, round forward, shoulders over the wrist. Continue to fill that space between your shoulder blades and pushing my hands away from my upper back. Without losing that engagement, exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold and tuck your toes with control. Lower your hips down. Hug the inner arms close to your chest. Remember, 80% of your strength in your back bend is coming from your low back. 20% supported by your hands. Inhale, rise. Good. Hold it there. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, release down. Tuck your toes, knees on the mat. Adjust your hands if you need to. Take a breath and push up. Send the hips slightly back. Adjust the hands. And then roll back for that last down dog. Okay. I'm gonna have you lift your heels up. When you drop your knees down to the mat, I want you to bring the knees wider than your hips. Toes to touch, big toes to touch. And I'm gonna pivot my hips down towards my heels. My belly's coming between my legs. Extend a child's pose. I'm gonna relax my arms, lower my head down, and let's close your eyes. Begin to calm down your heart rate. Cool down your body. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. The final deep breath in and exhale, open your mouth. Your eyes closed. Just walk your hands up towards your knees. Gently start to roll and lift your upper body up. Closing your knees together side by side. You can rock the hips side to side if it feels good. Okay. Now that our body is a little bit more cooled down, we're going to have us do a little aromatherapy self massage. For the very reason that when we start to do a lot of vinyasas, a lot of chaturangas, I find that if we don't have the proper strength and engagement to our upper body, we might start to feel it all in the wrist space. Depending if you're just fatiguing, if it's just muscle fatigue or injury. So we're going to spend some time, about a few minutes, just massaging into the wrists and hands. So take a moment to grab a lotion, grab a scented oil or your favorite essential oil, and we're going to meet back here in about a minute. Mochi. So while we are going to do some hand massage work, no, that's not food, Mochi. Um, she thinks everything's food. So I actually have my essential oil, and I love to mix it in with vitamin E oil when I'm doing this. So I'm taking a few squirts of that, and then I have my essential oil, and I'm kind of dabbing a few drops into my hands. I'm just going to massage it into my hands, let it feel good. And I'm really starting to caress all points and all surfaces of my hands, even between my fingertips to start. And once everything feels nice and nourished, you're just going to begin maybe with your left hand. I just start to use my index, middle finger, and my thumbs and just start to create a circle around my wrist space, just really massaging into that space first. Now alternate between my left wrist and my right wrist. So really depending on where your body is, I can't speak for everyone, but when I started coming back from my shoulders injury in my AC joint, tabletop, even the planks that we did on my knees was really hard because I found myself struggling to lift myself up. So all my body weight was going down into my wrists, and it was just lack of muscle strength and um, shoulder stability in my joints. And so I often, after my physical therapy exercises and playing around on the mat, I will come back into this place and just start to really massage into my wrists and my hands to nurture it, because I know that when we have lack of stability and strength in certain areas of our bodies, especially the upper back and shoulders, we tend to shift it all downwards. So you can start to use this time to use your thumbs and fingertips and just start to massage the back of your hands, even using your fingertips to massage the palms. And just eventually start to use one hand at a time. Use your fingers of one hand to really start to massage between each fingertip. Feels so good. So this is also a really good thing to do, especially if you work from home and you are typing a lot like I am for like 8 to 10 hours straight. Um, Eventually, we'll either develop arthritis or carpal tunnel, like a lot of work into the wrist, hand joints, fingers. And so we always want to give ourselves a little extra love for all the work that our body does. And then once that feels good, go ahead and just reapply some oils back into your hands or lotion. And we're going to move up to a little self massage. The self massage is like my favorite way, especially during this time that we're not in studios and gyms, to really, or like spas, to really just loosen up any last tension. So if you have long hair, flip your hair back. We're gonna just start with the neck. I have all the oils in my palms here, and all I'm gonna do is fingertips pointing back towards my neck. I'm just gonna start to glide it through the left and right side of my neck, and perhaps just interlacing my fingers behind my neck, just slowly shifting it forward and then shift it back. really use most of your strength from like the heels and edges, outside edges of your right and left hand to do that massaging motion. It does have more body and surface area to massage into the neck space. And then you can use your fingertips to glide them through the back of your head and just bring it up in like a circular motion behind your head. You can close your eyes and just let it feel good while you're doing this. Okay. Go ahead and interlace your fingers one last time. We're going to do a different kind of massage. When you're interlacing your fingers behind your neck space, just start to really close the elbows in. Gently tuck your chin to your chest. Take a few breaths here. Feeling the compression of your palms to the sides of your neck. A gentle compression. And then just you're going to softly release your elbows out. And just take a big stretch out to the left and right. Okay. Let's finish up our practice tonight with a few final poses, starting with bound angle. So soles of your feet are going to come together, the knees are out to the side. Just grab the tops of your feet. And just inhale, lengthen your spine, move into the next space. And as the body just completely softens and surrenders, go ahead and hinge forward from your hips, round your back. Let the chin roll towards your chest. Your elbows can be hugging towards the sides of your waist. Okay, let's lift our upper body up. Close your knees together. We're at the middle back of your mat at this point, so I want you to come towards the top of your mat. From here, we're going to go ahead and just lay down on our mat. Allow your toes to roll out to the side. Spread the arms wide. Let the palms face down. And then go ahead and bring both your feet onto the mat, opening your knees a little wider than the hips, and windshield wipe your knees left and right. Bring the knees back to the center. And we're going to roll both knees over to the left side. You can stay here. If you like to anchor that right knee closer towards the mat, you can pick up the left foot and place it over the outer right thigh. You can tuck your chin over to the right shoulder. Close your eyes. Breathe into your body. last few breaths here. Deep belly breaths. And slowly draw the left foot down, bring your knees back to center. Realign your hips before you take your knees over to the right. You can stay here or bring your right foot over that left knee to anchor your left leg down. We're going to tuck the chin over to the left shoulder. Close your eyes. And just quiet the thoughts of your mind. Begin to take 3 deep belly breaths. And lower the right foot down. Allow your knees to come back to the center. And just windshield wipe your knees left or right. You can take this time to return your knees back towards the center. And we're going to start to release the low back. A few gentle lifts. So heels close towards the buttocks. Arms along the sides of your body. And as you inhale, let's go ahead and just rise the hips up. Gently squeezing into your glutes. And just exhale, roll your hips back down. You're going to take another breath in, pressing down through your hands, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, soften and release down. Good. Last one. Inhale. And then exhale. Tuck both your knees into your chest. Hands onto your knees and just let it rock left or right. And let go of your arms down to the side. Provide some space to rock the hips side to side. Let's return your knees back to the center. Grounding one foot at a time on your mat, knees bent. I'm going to ask you just to curl your hip up and then roll your hip back down, elongating through the tailbone. And then stretch the left leg out to the left, toes rolling out. Stretching your right leg over to the right, right toes rolling out. Just close your eyes. Our final Shavasana. Hmm. Ah, just slowly guide you back to come back to your body. Just move into those fingertips. Move into your toes. Gonna stretch the arms behind your head. Place the soles of your feet onto the mat. And roll your knees over to your favorite side, coming into your fetal position. With your eyes closed, gently press your body up. Come into your seated pose, hands and prayer to your heart as we bow your head. Thank you for allowing me to guide you in your practice. With the light and love in my heart, I honor the same light and love within yours. May the rest of this evening and the rest of this week bring forth light, love, happiness, and peace into your lives. When you open your eyes, lift your head. Namaste. Hmm. So I hope you enjoyed the practice. I'm going to mute us. Love to hear your feedback. Love to see how you're doing. And let me know if you want to work on something next week to break down the pose, and I'll set something up for that.